Hi there, this is Stephanie with a suggestion for you. This came up in a recent group chat that I was in, and I shared some thoughts that I had on the subject and was encouraged to create something that I can share to others that might be experiencing the same difficulties. What the topic was about was dealing with the drain of energy that many empathic people suffer with or deal with, and ways to sort of manage that, ways to protect themselves from other people's negative energy or just the drain that comes from being around a lot of people. And so if you feel drained after being around other people, or you easily pick up on other people's negative energy even though they're not expressing it verbally, or you become over involved or try to fix everybody's problems, or you're the person that people always go to with their issues and you find it hard to say no to them when they want to share. There are ways that you can protect yourself. There's ways that I've found personally that work for me and that I've shared with other people with great success. But everyone's different, and so I invite you to try my suggestions, and if they don't work for you, that's fine. But I really do believe that there are ways that we can protect ourselves and still be very caring and empathetic towards other people. So, one of the things that I found really helpful and that I've actually done with clients is to create shields within a hypnotherapy session. What that would look like is, of course, it'll look different for every person because everyone's got their own individual ideas of what safety looks like and, different ways that we think and feel. So, for one client, we were able to draw on her artistic talents to imagine that she could draw a protective circle around her and what that would look like, and to create almost like a little dome over her of energy that was able to shield negative energy out and allow positive and loving energy in as well as out, obviously. So yeah, you can do that in a hypnotherapy session. You can also create space within yourself that you hold sacred. And so you can do that in a hypnotherapy session or just during a meditation, or creating some mindfulness around the fact that you're going to hold a part of yourself as being protected, almost in its own little shell. And that's where your energy resides. And so that even if you're sharing your energy with other people and being the recipient of their energies, that part remains untouched. And that takes practice, but it's totally doable. So another suggestion that I had for people is, after you've been around a lot of people, or if it's been a negative encounter, that you take some time to brush that energy off of you. And so maybe you would start at the head and you would make your way down to the ground if you can, if you're able to reach that far. But if not, then certainly do the top part. And so you kind of want to start kind of brushing it off and kind of out to the side. But obviously, if there's people standing nearby, don't just brush it onto them, because that's just mean. So it's sort of like a down and out kind of brushing. So you're kind of sending it to the earth, and the earth can just absorb that and take it away. And yeah, and then it's not clinging to you. So I find that helpful at times if I've been at a party, or, we all can think of times when we've been at the mall where it's been really packed and you come home feeling drained. So that's a nice little technique that you can use. And another technique that I've found helpful is, especially if it's a lot of negative energy and you're just kind of feeling that built up inside of you, and it might not have anything to do with your own situation, but you've just taken it on. I find a few rounds of ha breathing can be really helpful. And so, I mean, that can look so different for so many different people. There's many different practices, and you have to make sure that you're okay, healthy, and physically okay to do ha breathing. If you're pregnant or you have a hernia, or even if you're just not sure if it's safe, then obviously consult your doctor before doing it, because it can be kind of forceful. But the intention of it would be to just get the energy out and moving rather. You might not get it all out with a few rounds, but just to kind of get it moving, because sometimes energy can kind of come in and then get sort of stuck, and then we're kind of hanging on to it and dealing with it for far too long. So some ha breathing could look like raising your hands above your head, making fists, take a nice deep breath in, and as you bring your arms down, you're going to ha, and you're going to like really forcefully breathe out. I'm not going to do it on video because it just wouldn't look great. But you get the gist. So you can do that. And you can do that in a chair as long as there's no arms on it, obviously, and you're just going to be careful not to hit anything. There's other ways that you can do ha breathing. You can have your fingertips touching your sternum. And so then you would just breathe out ha, and you would spread your arms out, and then on the inhale you'd bring them back in, and then ha. And I would only recommend, especially if you're new to ha breathing, that you do like just a couple, like 2 or 3 at most, because you're really going to get some energy flowing, and it can be pretty intense, and so a lot of deep breathing and stuff. So getting rid of that stale sort of old energy and really getting some fresh breath in can really help. And then I would follow that up with some nice deep belly breathing, if that feels comfortable for you, or some nice 3-part breath where you're breathing into the belly, into the chest, and then into the upper parts of the lungs, and then exhaling. You could also try some deep breaths in, shrug your shoulders up, and then sigh out the exhale. So yeah, I hope that helps. I know it's really challenging sometimes to want to help other people and be there for them, and especially during these tough times. But remember that you can't pour from an empty cup, and so you need to find ways that will encourage you to process those feelings and emotions that are healthy for you. Stay tuned. I am going to do a hypnotherapy session that I will share. So take care, be safe, shield yourselves, practice self-love and self-care.